Lecture 6, International Political Economy and Globalization. Introduction. Understanding IPE in a Changing World. International Political Economy, IPE, is an academic field that examines the complex and dynamic relationship between politics and economics at the global level. In the contemporary world, it is no longer possible to separate economic processes from political decisions. Trade agreements, financial flows, sanctions, and development policies are all shaped by power, institutions, and state interests. At the same time, economic forces such as globalization, market integration, and technological change significantly influence political structures and decision-making. The 21st century global system is characterized by deep interdependence, but also increasing tensions between cooperation and competition. Understanding IPE helps explain why states sometimes cooperate through institutions, like the WTO or IMF, while at other times they pursue protectionist or nationalist policies. The relationship between international politics and economics, IPE. The relationship between international politics and economics can be understood through three major theoretical perspectives: realism, liberalism, and constructivism. 1. Realist perspective: power and economic competition. From a realist perspective, economics is subordinate to politics. States use economic tools such as trade policies, sanctions, and control over resources to enhance national power and security. Economic interdependence is often viewed with suspicion, as dependence on other states can create vulnerability. For example, energy dependence or reliance on foreign supply chains may become a strategic risk during geopolitical conflicts. Realists argue that states prioritize relative gains over absolute gains, meaning they care more about how much they gain compared to others, rather than overall benefits. 2. Liberal perspective: cooperation and mutual gains. Liberalism emphasizes the potential for cooperation and mutual benefit. In economic relations, according to this view, free trade, international institutions, and economic interdependence promote peace and prosperity. Institutions such as the WTO, IMF, and World Bank are designed to facilitate cooperation, reduce uncertainty, and create rules-based systems. Liberals argue that economic interdependence reduces the likelihood of war, because states have more to lose from conflict. 3. Constructivist perspective: ideas, norms, and identity. Constructivists focus on how ideas, norms, and identities shape economic policies. Economic behavior is not only driven by material interests, but also by shared beliefs and social constructs. For example, the idea of globalization itself is a socially constructed concept that influences how states and societies perceive economic integration. Similarly, norms such as fair trade, sustainability, and corporate responsibility shape global economic practices. B. Free trade versus protectionism. One of the central debates in international political economy is between free trade and protectionism. 1. Free trade efficiency and growth. Free trade refers to an economic system in which barriers such as tariffs, quotas, and subsidies are minimized or eliminated, allowing goods and services to move freely across national borders. The theoretical foundation of free trade is rooted in the concept of comparative advantage, which argues that countries should specialize in producing goods and services. They can produce relatively more efficiently than others. By doing so, all trading partners can benefit from increased overall productivity and mutual gains. One of the primary advantages of free trade is increased economic efficiency. When countries specialize according to their comparative advantages, resources are allocated more effectively, leading to higher output with the same level of input. This enhances global productivity and economic performance. Another key benefit is lower prices for consumers. By allowing access to cheaper imported goods, free trade increases consumer choice and reduces the cost of living. Consumers can purchase higher quality goods at more competitive prices, improving overall welfare. Free trade also promotes innovation and competition. Exposure to international markets forces domestic firms to become more efficient and competitive. This competitive pressure encourages technological advancement, improved management practices, and product innovation. Additionally, free trade contributes to the expansion of global markets. Firms are no longer limited to domestic demand, but can access international consumers, enabling economies of scale and business growth. This is particularly beneficial for small and export-oriented economies. Historically, periods of economic openness, especially in the post-World War II era, under institutions such as the GATT and later the WTO, have been closely associated with rapid economic growth, industrialization, and rising living standards. These developments highlight the significant role of free trade in shaping the modern global economy. 2. Protectionism, security, and domestic stability. Protectionism refers to a set of government policies designed to restrict imports and shield domestic industries from foreign competition. These policies typically include tariffs, taxes on imports, quotas, limits on the quantity of imports, and subsidies, financial support for domestic producers. Unlike free trade, which emphasizes openness and global efficiency, protectionism prioritizes national economic interests, stability, and strategic autonomy. One of the main arguments in favor of protectionism is the need to protect infant industries. Emerging industries in developing or transitioning economies often lack the scale, technology, or experience to compete with established foreign firms. Temporary protection allows these industries to grow, innovate, and become competitive over time. Another key justification is the goal of preserving jobs and domestic production. Unrestricted imports can lead to the decline of local industries, resulting in unemployment and regional economic disruption. Protectionist measures can help maintain employment levels and support domestic economic stability, particularly in politically sensitive sectors. Protectionism is also closely linked to national security concerns. Governments may seek to ensure that critical industries such as defense, energy, agriculture, and advanced technology remain under domestic control. Dependence on foreign suppliers for essential goods can create vulnerabilities during times of conflict or crisis. In addition, protectionist policies are often used to prevent unfair competition, such as dumping, where foreign firms sell products below market value. To gain market share, by imposing tariffs or trade remedies, governments aim to create a level playing field for domestic producers. For example, many countries impose tariffs or provide subsidies in strategic sectors, such as steel, agriculture, and semiconductors. These industries are considered vital not only for economic performance, but also for long-term national resilience and technological sovereignty. 3. The ongoing tension. The tension between free trade and protectionism reflects a fundamental conflict between competing priorities in the global economy. On one hand, free trade emphasizes efficiency, specialization, and economic growth through open markets and international cooperation. On the other hand, protectionism highlights security, domestic stability, and national sovereignty, prioritizing the protection of local industries and strategic capabilities. This tension is not merely economic, but also deeply political. Governments must balance the benefits of globalization, such as increased trade, investment, and innovation, against the risks of dependency, inequality, and domestic economic disruption. As a result, trade policy often becomes a tool for managing both economic performance and political legitimacy. C. The impact of globalization and economic nationalism. 1. Globalization, integration, and interdependence. Globalization refers to the growing interconnectedness of economies, societies, and cultures worldwide, driven by technological progress, trade liberalization, and multinational corporations. It has expanded global supply chains, increased foreign direct investment, FDI, accelerated the diffusion of technology, and enhanced cultural exchange. While globalization has contributed to economic growth and poverty reduction in many regions, its benefits have been unevenly distributed across countries and social groups. 2. Challenges of globalization. Despite its advantages, globalization has generated significant challenges. It has contributed to rising income inequality within and between countries, as well as job displacement caused by outsourcing and automation. Global financial integration has increased vulnerability to crises, while cultural homogenization has raised concerns about identity and diversity. These issues have fueled public dissatisfaction and political backlash. In many societies, 3. Economic nationalism, a reaction to globalization. Economic nationalism refers to a set of policies and strategies that prioritize domestic economic interests over deep global integration. While globalization emphasizes openness, interdependence, and the free flow of goods, capital, and ideas, economic nationalism seeks to strengthen national control over key economic sectors. and reduce vulnerability to external shocks. It often includes protectionist measures, active industrial policy, and efforts to restructure global economic relationships in favor of national resilience. 4. The future of globalization. The future of globalization is likely to be characterized by selective globalization or strategic decoupling.